Alright, hello. Sorry, I'm standing filming this video, so I might move around or bounce a bit more because I'm not fixed in one spot. I was having trouble coming up with an idea for this video anyways, for what I felt like filming, what I could have fun doing. And last night I was watching Criminal Minds because it's something I've been doing a lot lately, and this one episode came on. I was like, you know what? I can talk about this episode. I do have to give major credit to Mike's Mike, his series recently on like rewatching the teen girl bosses of the 2010s. I'm gonna be talking about Criminal Minds, but I don't know, I feel like that did inspire what I'm going for with the vibe of this video. I just had to dress up, put some makeup on, try and feel cute, look cute. My Uggs on, my Nike's best. And that maybe that would just, you know, help encourage me, get me going. So, yeah. I've been watching a lot of Criminal Minds lately. I've been trying not to watch a lot of Criminal Minds as well, but I keep coming back to it. I've been trying to like, hey, like read a book or like watch a like indie movie, try to like mix it up. But I have flown through like 5 seasons of the Criminal Minds, and I think part of what makes it so alluring to keep coming back to it, because like it doesn't really make me happy watching it, but it's got like, you know, it's just like really dependable. Like, you know, it has a formula, it's gonna work out in a certain way, things are gonna happen, and there's so many episodes that are there for you. But yeah, so I'm like late season 9, and things are starting to get a little more elaborate. You know, they've been a little elaborate, but things are really starting to get like niche. And I watched an episode last night. It was called Rabid, and it really felt like it was something I was just like, oh my god, this is Pro-Am, Fun Run, Race for the Cure, like the sequel, because rabies is back, baby. Rabies is here. They're I don't know if it's just because, you know, rabies isn't exactly portrayed in the media that often or like featured as a spotlight topic, but I was just like, these 2 episodes go together. You should watch like Fun Run and Rabid, Criminal Minds, back to back. It makes sense. Alright, so I'm gonna summarize it now. I didn't take notes at the time. I'm just going off memory. So we're following a young woman. She gets on the bus. She sits and she's feeling a little uncomfortable. There is a man who is eyeing her, and it's getting a little weird. Slowly everyone gets off the bus and the night passes and we get a little time, and like finally we're at her stop. They're the last 2 on the bus. She gets off with her groceries and we're outside the bus, and then there's the man who is watching her. He's following her. She starts to walk faster. She's uncomfortable. He's still following. And then he runs up and she's got like, oh no. And he's like, you've dropped this. And it's really uncomfortable. It's really awkward. It's kind of like she gets the like thing she dropped and runs off into her house. And then we're left with the dude, and he's outside and he's walking, and then he stumbles upon, he gets scared by a dog and a supposed homeless man, and then that person attacks the creepy dude, and we have our case that the team is obviously going to be called out onto. I do think this sets a little bit of weird tone. They've been doing these like twists in the beginning, like unexpected victim, or like maybe the people were watching discover the bodies instead of being kidnapped, etc. But I do find it's like, oh, giving her the thing she dropped, but also like that was really like creepy, and now we have to like root for him. Well, we're doing a lot. We have our B plot with our team characters, and we have this really cute little thing where Reed and Penelope, they need to take the fitness test again for whatever reason. So they're training because they need to make a like running mile time. Jokes, fun, kid, cute. They get called onto a case where there have been 3 bodies found at different stages of decomposition, and they have bite marks. We're exploring like what's the connection between these people. They cross the lines of like, were they victims of opportunity? We are setting the stage, we are learning about the case, we are creating the profile. Something that I can't remember if they did it in this episode, but it's just like one of my favorite things happens in this section. They split off and analyze the crime scene, the bodies. Some are usually at the precinct, like going through the files, and two different teams come to the same conclusion and realization at the same time separately, and then Hotch will be like, it's time to deliver the profile. So in this case, we have victims who have been bit. Like, is it cannibalism? We don't know. Is it some sort of like ritual? Is it a fetish maybe? Throwing things out? We're learning. We're working and we're learning, and they find out, they come to the same conclusion. They're like, wait, this one victim used to work in animal control. Oh, these like bites. Maybe it's rabies. Purposely infecting their victims with rabies, and that's why they keep them for a certain amount of time. It's gotten faster because they're better at incubating it. So after they've come to the same realization, but like separately, I always like to imagine how that conversation goes down. Like, we sort of get it, but not in like an actual conversation. We'll get like a montage of them being like, we learned this. Oh my goodness. We have to, and then Hotch goes, we have to deliver the profile. Or no, it's time to give the profile. It's time to deliver the profile. But like, I would love to see that conversation just like normally, where it's like, hey, we figured something out. We figured out something out. Oh, you go first. No, you go first. Okay, let's go at the same time. All right. The partner's a woman. Like, there's, oh my God, Jinx, you know, like, oh my God, how did you figure out it was a woman? Oh, well, like this, and this. Oh, yeah. Oh, so cool. So yeah, when we were with the bodies, we were like, this is like remorse, and they did poison. So like, oh yeah, I witnessed like a woman, and we put two and two together, and it's like, oh. And then they just like high five. I wish we got that scene though. Anyways, they are giving their victims rabies. They talk about how rabies is like, there's so many cases in a year, and I'm like, fun run. And how if you get the vaccine within 24 hours, you're good, but if not, there's no cure. Race for the cure. And how it is like such a horrible disease to die from, and it actually is terrifying. It was not the best. I was eating dinner while watching this episode, and I have to say it was not the best. Our team of STAR investigators, the squad, the STAR squad, the A+ high five team of BAU science investigators, they deduce that this person must have had a personal experience with rabies, and that has probably scarred them in some way, and that's why they are recreating this like rabies, giving people rabies and watching them die slowly of rabies. So you look up cases of rabies where there was like, didn't end well. And unfortunately there's not that many cases of rabies in the area. So they find a case of a young boy. He got infected. He got bit by a bat. And they didn't get him the vaccine in time. They didn't know. He had come in with like, the symptoms have already setting in. And they couldn't do anything. He went home. Slowly died essentially. And they find out, they look at his family, they go to the older brother's house, they find recordings of what he took of his younger brother, like, being insane, having gone mad, and how that must have been, like, really hard for him to go through, and yeah, so they are like, oh man, we have another person reported missing. It is grad student. So we've been seeing in the meantime, like, this one mother, she's there, and like, our dude, he's already infected, but he's in there with her, and there's like these dog kennels, it seems, and he's not like totally out of it yet, but like he's getting a fever and stuff, and she is like stark raving mad, and I guess she like gets out. She like gets out of her cell and into his cell somehow, breaks the window in his cell, and climbs out and starts like roaming the streets. At this point they get the 911 call. They're like, oh my god, and the team sets out to find her. Morgan and JJ, they're in the car. They're like, Where is she? I don't know. Maybe the park with the screaming mothers and children. They get her, but like obviously it's too late. They narrow it down that she must be, you know, she's on foot. She couldn't have gotten far. What's in a certain radius? Well, Penelope's there. She's ready to go. She's looking at the map, and the map doesn't really show anything, but she's like, it's all residential. I see X, Y, Z, A, B, C. What are my parameters? Like, what about abandoned factories and or places that are empty? She's like, there's houses for sale. There's no dilapidated factories, blah, blah, blah. Boom, boom, boom. Cross-referencing skills. Got it. There is an abandoned animal control center right near here. Maybe it's that place. Wow. So, the team goes. They go. And, of course, the PD isn't there yet. They're too slow. They're too slow. But the team has to go in. At this point, I was very confused. I was like, why do they have to go in? Why can't they just wait? They go in. They're outnumbered. Who gets hurt? Someone gets tackled. It's like, man, why couldn't you just wait? I don't understand the time constraint. Like, I'm like, he's been infected for over 24 hours. It's been like 2 days since they've had him. But ultimately, they get the best of the unsub. They're okay, and the police arrive, and they take him away, and they get our grad student man to the hospital, and they're sitting there, and they're like, oh, this sucks. Like, it's so sad. What's her face? She just died, the other victim. And then wheels out Mr. Grad Student Man. He's like, thank you, I'm gonna be okay. So I guess it was under 24 hours, but the whole timeline was like foggy and confusing to me, and so I guess it does make sense that they were under time pressure because they were trying to get to him before the 24-hour mark, but I had very much thought we were over the 24-hour mark. And then we're back home, you know, case solved. Reed and Penelope are getting ready to take their fitness test. And Morgan shows up. He's like, why didn't you tell me you needed help with your fitness test? And they're like, oh, because like, you're so intense. And he's like, well, guess what? I'm administering it, even though I could have gotten you out of it. And they're like, all right, let's do the smile. He's like, it's not just the smile. It's all of these things. So we get like a fun montage of Penelope and Reed doing activities, and then at the end, they're like dying, and Morgan's like, gotcha, I waived your test. This has all been a prank. And that's the end of the episode. Hope that made sense. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please check out another one or give this a like if you did. Alright, thanks, bye!